Where do we even begin, Bills Mafia? The Buffalo Bills dropped their second straight game heading into the bye week, and along with it, they lose control of the AFC East. It's a moment of reflection for a team that once looked unstoppable, now searching for answers. The Week 6 clash against the Falcons was supposed to be a reset. Instead, it exposed deeper cracks. The Bills' defense had flashes of brilliance in the second half, holding Atlanta to just 3 points, but the damage had already been done. In the first half, they were shredded. Bijan Robinson ran wild for over 200 all-purpose yards, and Drake London tore through the secondary like it was paper. And the offense? Outside of 2 well-executed drives, one to open the game and another right after halftime, the Bills couldn't find their rhythm. Every opportunity they were given turned into another missed chance. Early in the game, a forced fumble could flip the tone, but a penalty on Greg Rousseau nullified it. From that point forward, the mistakes just kept piling up. This wasn't about effort, it was about execution. A team known for its precision looked out of sync, flat, and hesitant. Heading into the bye week, there's a serious question hanging over Orchard Park: are the Buffalo Bills still an elite football team, or have they lost their identity? When a team gets nearly doubled up in total yardage, when they can't get off the field on third down, and when explosive plays keep happening over and over again, it's not bad luck. It's bad football. And right now, that's exactly what the Buffalo Bills are playing. 8 penalties, 7 of them on defense, gave the Falcons free first downs all afternoon. Every time the Bills had a chance to shift momentum, they handed it right back. Offensively, they were just as lifeless. Only 2 of 9 on third downs. That's not playoff caliber execution, that's how you lose winnable games. And if there's one storyline that refuses to go away, it's the same old one: the Bills' run defense is broken. Week after week, the tackling gets worse. On one painful replay late in the fourth quarter, Bijan Robinson made 5 Buffalo defenders miss on a single play. 5. That's not just poor form, that's a lack of pride. Robinson ran through them like they were ghosts. His 81-yard touchdown was a masterclass in patience and explosion, but it also exposed every flaw this defense has tried to hide. Missed tackles, bad pursuit angles, and a secondary that looks completely lost. The defensive line wasn't awful, they had a few moments of push at the line of scrimmage, but once the play reached the second or third level, it was chaos. The linebackers were late, and the safeties were worse. Right now, this secondary isn't just struggling, it's costing Buffalo football games. Taylor Rapp simply can't be starting anymore. His tackling hesitation and poor coverage angles are killing this team. And Cole Bishop. His pursuit angle on Robinson's long touchdown was one of the ugliest defensive reads of the season. The Bills' safety play has gone from inconsistent to catastrophic. This isn't about one player or one bad game, this is about identity. The Bills' defense used to intimidate teams. Now it's the weak link. When you can't tackle, can't cover, and can't get off the field, what are you left with? Right now, this defense doesn't have an answer. And until they find one, the Buffalo Bills won't either. What exactly is happening with this Buffalo Bills defense? Because one thing is crystal clear, they didn't cover Drake London. Not once. Not even by accident. He roamed free through the middle of the field all afternoon, and the assignments on him looked completely confused from start to finish. Too often, linebackers like Terrell Bernard and Dorian Williams were left chasing him in coverage, a mismatch every single time. That's not strategy, that's defensive malpractice. It looked like a unit that had no idea who was responsible for what. But this goes beyond bad play calling. Even the best defensive coordinator can't save a group that's playing this poorly. And the harsh reality is starting to set in: Tre'Davious White just isn't that guy anymore. The decline is undeniable. He looks slower, less confident, and completely disconnected from the rhythm of the game. Quarterback Michael Penix Jr. didn't need to throw into tight windows or test the defense deep, because his receivers were wide open. That's the story of the night. Wide open routes. Missed reads. Late reactions. No fire. One moment summed it up perfectly: late in the game, with everything on the line, Bijan Robinson runs a simple wheel route. White doesn't even recognize it, he turns, throws his hands in frustration, blaming someone else. But there's no one else to blame anymore. That moment wasn't just a coverage breakdown, it was a symbol of where this defense is mentally. Even other corners struggled. Christian Benford and Taron Johnson both drew costly penalties and allowed key receptions. But among them, White stood out, for all the wrong reasons. He's no longer the lockdown corner Bills fans remember from 5 years ago. That version of him is gone. Still, even in a game full of frustration, there were a few sparks worth mentioning. Deon Walker continues to look like a bright spot on the defensive line. Game after game, he's one of the only players consistently winning at the line of scrimmage. When he gets going, he's nearly unblockable, a rare sign of life in an otherwise lifeless unit. But one player can't carry a defense. And until the Buffalo Bills figure out how to tackle, communicate, and cover again, their dreams of reclaiming the AFC East crown are fading fast. There were very few positives to take away from this one, but let's start with the small flashes that did shine through. Deon Walker continues to look like a rising star. His relentless motor and ability to disrupt plays at the line of scrimmage give this defense at least one building block for the future. And with Ed Oliver returning to the lineup, there were brief moments when the front four looked like they had a pulse again. But outside of that, the problems are deep, and they start at the top. The Bills' defensive structure feels predictable, soft, and uninspired. Defensive coordinator Bobby Babich has to be under serious scrutiny. His schemes keep opponents comfortable, not concerned. Against Atlanta, his defense allowed the one thing it absolutely couldn't: easy catches underneath and wide open space after the catch. The Falcons didn't have to be creative, Buffalo made it easy for them. This is supposed to be a playoff-caliber defense. Instead, it plays scared. Constant soft zones, late reactions, and poor tackling have turned a once-feared unit into one of the league's most exploitable. The Bills used to impose their will. Now, they react. And that lack of aggression doesn't just show up in the stat sheet, it shows in the body language. You can see it. Players confused before the snap, safeties looking at each other after giving up big plays, defenders out of position far too often. That's not just on injuries or suspensions. That's coaching. If the Bills truly believe they're contenders, then changes must come, because right now, this defense doesn't scare anyone. Babich's system feels outdated and predictable, and it's hard to argue he's maximizing the talent he has. If things keep spiraling, the organization may have no choice but to make a move. And let's be honest, it's not just the defense that's falling short. The offensive play calling under Joe Brady has been equally questionable. Stagnant drives, no creativity, no adjustments. When your offense and defense both look lost, it points to something much bigger than a bad Sunday. It points to leadership. The Buffalo Bills aren't out of the fight, not yet. But the margin for error is gone. The bye week isn't just a break, it's a wake-up call. Fix the coaching, clean up the discipline, and rediscover that edge that made this team dangerous. Because if they don't, this season could unravel fast. The Buffalo Bills offense, what can you even say at this point? It's inconsistent, inefficient, and in key moments, it just disappears. For a team built around Josh Allen, the attack has no rhythm, no identity, and no sense of urgency. At one point, offensive coordinator Joe Brady was viewed as one of football's bright young minds, someone destined for a future head coaching job. But lately, his play calling feels cautious, predictable, and lacking creativity. The spark that once defined Buffalo's offense has faded into frustration. The problem isn't just execution, it's philosophy. The Bills have the weapons, Stephon Diggs, James Cook, Dalton Kincaid, yet their usage feels random. Drives start with promise, then stall in the red zone. Too many checkdowns, too few designed rollouts, and an almost stubborn refusal to adapt mid-game. This was another example of the Bills' offense collapsing under its own weight. They moved the ball in spurts but failed to finish drives. The red zone, once their strength, has become a graveyard for missed opportunities. And when Allen tries to take over, when he has to do everything himself, the offense becomes predictable and one-dimensional. After the game, Josh Allen took full accountability, saying he needs to be better, but it's clear he can't do it alone. You could see it in his body language, frustration, exhaustion, and disbelief. He's giving everything, but the structure around him isn't holding up. There's no rhythm in the play calling, no balance between run and pass, and no creativity in short yardage situations. It's as if this coaching staff doesn't trust its own weapons. That hesitation shows up on every possession, missed blocks, sloppy routes, poorly timed calls. The offense used to be Buffalo's heartbeat. Now, it feels like it's skipping beats every Sunday. If this team wants to salvage the season, the coaching staff needs to stop playing scared and start playing smart. Because right now, Josh Allen looks like a superstar trapped in a system that's holding him back. If there's one thing you can always count on, it's Josh Allen wearing the weight of this franchise on his shoulders. He's not just number 17, he's the heartbeat of the Buffalo Bills. When they win, he celebrates with everyone. When they lose, he carries it alone. That's what true leaders do. But right now, he's carrying too much. 2 interceptions in this game, one clearly on him, one deflected in desperation, yet both symbolized a deeper problem. The Bills' offense is putting everything on Allen's back, and defenses know it. The Falcons blitzed him on over half their defensive snaps, the highest rate he's faced since 2021. And with that kind of pressure, he's already been sacked as many times as the entire previous season.